Keep cucumbers fresh for a whole month without spending a dime. Sounds impossible, but it's totally true. Welcome to Click DIY. Cucumbers might seem easy to store, but leave them out for just a few days, and they can go soft, wilt, even start leaking and giving off a bad smell. So how can you keep them crisp, green, and garden fresh like the day they were picked? Today, I'm going to share 5 simple cucumber storage tips from a farmer with over 20 years of experience growing cucumbers. By simply applying these exact tips, you can keep cucumbers fresh and tasty for a whole week or even a month without worrying about them spoiling. So, what are you waiting for? Let's get started. The first method to keep cucumbers fresh. First things first, you'll want to choose fresh cucumbers that feel firm and show no signs of bruising or damage. One important note, this method only works with whole cucumbers. Don't use it on ones that have already been cut. Before storing them, gently wipe each cucumber with a dry cloth to clean off any dirt. There's no need to wash them with water. Next, grab a soft paper towel and lightly mist it with a spray bottle. Be careful not to overdo it, just a light mist is all you need. You don't want the towel soaking wet or dripping. This slight moisture will help keep your cucumbers fresher for longer. Now, wrap each cucumber in the damp paper towel, or you can wrap 2 or 3 together, depending on their size. But for the best results, it's recommended to wrap them one at a time like this. Repeat the same process with the rest of your cucumbers. By the way, where are you watching this video from? Drop a comment and let me know. It's always such a joy to see how we can connect from all over the world. Next, get a food storage container ready. Place the wrapped cucumbers inside the container, then close the lid. Finally, put the container in the refrigerator, ideally somewhere with good air circulation. Try not to place it right up against the walls of the fridge. The ideal temperature for storing cucumbers is between 46 degrees Fahrenheit and 50 degrees Fahrenheit, about 8 to 10 degrees Celsius. With this method, your cucumbers can stay fresh and crisp for about 7 to 10 days or even longer if your fridge maintains a steady temperature. After about 2 to 3 days, it's a good idea to unwrap and check them. Make sure the paper towel isn't too damp and that the cucumbers aren't showing any signs of spoilage. If needed, replace the paper towel with a fresh one to keep the storage process going strong. This method is simple, right? Try it now. Let's move on to tip 2. First, prepare a clean basin of water. Then, add 1 tablespoon of baking soda and stir well until it's completely dissolved. Now, place all your cucumbers into the solution and let them soak for about 10 to 15 minutes. While they're soaking, gently rotate them with your hands or lightly rub the surface of each one. This helps remove dirt, pesticide residue, and slows down bacterial growth, all of which are common reasons cucumbers spoil quickly. After soaking, take the cucumbers out and rinse them with clean water 1 to 2 more times to completely remove any remaining baking soda residue. Next, set the cucumbers on a tray with drainage holes and use a paper towel or clean cloth to dry each one thoroughly. Make sure there's no water left on the skin. Now, grab a zip-top bag and place a layer of paper towel at the bottom. Add the cucumbers in, then use a straw to suck out as much air as possible before sealing the bag tightly. If you have a large number of cucumbers, divide them into smaller portions in separate bags. That way, you only take out what you need without defrosting too much at once. Store the cucumber bags in the refrigerator's crisper drawer or a cool area, ideally at a temperature between 46 degrees Fahrenheit and 50 degrees Fahrenheit, about 8 to 10 degrees Celsius. Using this method, your cucumbers can stay fresh and crisp for about 8 to 10 days. First, you just need to prepare a glass jar or a plastic food container with a tight-fitting lid, along with cold filtered water. Then, put all the pickles into the jar, but note not to pack it too full. If you have a lot of pickles, divide them into several jars for easier storage. Next, pour cold filtered water in so that the pickles are completely submerged. then tightly close the lid. Place the jar in the refrigerator compartment, but avoid putting it close to the fan or in areas that are too cold, as this may cause the pickles to become soggy and spoil quickly. The ideal place is the vegetable drawer or the door shelf, where the temperature is stable. During storage, every 2-3 days you should change the water once. When changing, simply rinse the pickles quickly with cold water, then pour in new water to submerge as before. When using, always remember to use a clean spoon or chopsticks to take them out. Absolutely do not put wet or dirty utensils into the jar to avoid contamination. With this method, cucumbers usually stay crunchy for 7 to 10 days, or even up to about 14 days if stored well. If you notice the water in the jar becoming cloudy or having a strange smell, you should discard it immediately to ensure safety. This fourth method. Start by pouring a small amount of cooking oil into a small bowl. Then, use a clean brush or a soft paper towel to dip into the oil and gently apply a very thin layer over the entire surface of each cucumber. This light coating of oil forms a thin protective barrier on the outside, helping to reduce moisture loss from inside the cucumber. It also limits direct contact with air and bacteria, which slows down wilting, softening, and rotting. Just make sure to use only enough oil to coat the skin, don't overdo it. Once you've oiled the cucumbers, grab a food storage container and place a layer of paper towel at the bottom. Arrange the cucumbers neatly inside, but don't pack them in too tightly. You want to avoid scratching or damaging the skins. Finally, close the lid and place the container in the fridge, away from the very back wall where it gets too cold. Now, you don't have to worry about your cucumbers going limp or mushy. With this oil coating method, cucumbers can stay fresh and crisp for around 8 to 10 days, depending on storage, temperature, and how fresh they were to begin with. Before eating them raw or using them in recipes, simply rinse the cucumbers under warm water or lightly salted water to remove the oil from the skin. The final method. First, prepare a clean cutting board. Then, use a knife to slice the cucumbers into thin rounds or small cubes, depending on how you plan to use them. Once you're done cutting, get a tray and line the bottom with a sheet of plastic wrap. Next, lay out the cucumber pieces evenly across the tray. Make sure to leave a bit of space between each piece so they don't stick together. Place the tray in the freezer for about 2 to 3 hours, or until the cucumber pieces are fully frozen. This quick freezing step helps prevent the pieces from clumping together during long-term storage. Once frozen, take the tray out and transfer the cucumber pieces into a Ziploc bag. Use a straw to suck out as much air as possible, then seal the bag tightly. Now, just place the bag in your freezer at a temperature of 0 degrees Fahrenheit, around -18 degrees Celsius or lower. Frozen cucumbers are best used within 1 to 2 months. While they can be stored longer, the flavor and texture will gradually fade over time. Another way is to put the whole fruit in a Ziploc bag, then use a straw to suck out all the air. Once the bag is vacuum sealed, you can put it in the freezer for longer storage. When you need to use it, just leave the cucumber in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes to 1 hour. Avoid soaking it directly in water to avoid making the cucumber soft or losing its texture. And there you have it. I've just shared 5 great tips to help keep your cucumbers fresh for up to a whole month. Do you know any other ways to store cucumbers? Feel free to share them in the comments below so we can all learn from each other. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a like and share it with your friends so more people can benefit from these handy tips. And be sure to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out on more useful tricks every day. Thanks so much for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.